Tonight, I bring you bad news. News of yet another murderous pandemic from China, a deadly and mysterious form of pneumonia. It has already hit several cities like Beijing, Xi'an. In 2020 and 2021, China's most virulent export, COVID-19, brought the world to its knees. Could this killer pneumonia rock the world now? People are once again falling sick. Hospitals in China are once again overwhelmed. There is a long waiting list for hospital beds. China is once again trying to cover up, and once again things have gotten out of control. I am afraid you should be worried, especially if you have young, unvaccinated children at home or elders with comorbidity. Just have a look at what's happening in China. Its hospitals are crowded with sick children. Visuals coming out of cities like Xi'an showing hospitals packed with parents. Videos on social media showing children doing their homework while receiving intravenous drips in the hospital. It's the same story from capital Beijing to provinces like Liaoning. In many places, in fact, classes have been suspended. And this is a deadly echo of the scenes of the early days of the Wuhan virus. Such is the situation that China is being forced to speak up. China's National Health Commission recently held a press conference. It admitted to a sudden increase in respiratory diseases, but it tried playing down the situation. Authorities said the illnesses could be because of the spread of influenza, pneumonia, or RSV. Basically, China is brushing this aside as a seasonal surge, a regular increase in cases of pneumonia. What is pneumonia? It is an infection, one that impacts the lungs. Those who come down with it have cough, fever, sometimes even breathing difficulties. But what's happening in China is different. People are coming down with high fever. There is lung inflammation, but there is no cough. This is no normal pneumonia, you see. Also, Wuhan virus, remember, began as an unexplained pneumonia. ProMed, an international disease surveillance platform, had raised questions about an unknown virus in late 2019, right before the Wuhan virus jumped borders. The same surveillance platform has once again issued an alert over this mysterious pneumonia in China. Parents in China are worried. They are questioning the authorities, asking if China is covering up another epidemic. Who will answer that question? Is China engaged in yet another cover-up? Travel to and from China is humongous, as we all know. Statistics of international flights. Just a matter of time before this epidemic becomes the next killer pandemic from China. Is that what's happening? Note the timing here. The first case of Wuhan virus is believed to have emerged sometime between mid-October and November. What month is it now? November again. By December 2019, remember, the Wuhan virus spread to all of the Chinese provinces. By February, nearly 90 countries were infected. By March, 90,000 people were infected. People began to die in the thousands. And March is just 4 months away now. There is no time. Now, where is the World Health Organization? Has the WHO raised an alarm? 3 years ago, Dr. Tedros and his team failed us. They were too late in responding to the crisis, too late in declaring a pandemic because they were too busy, you see, covering up for China. Over 6 million people lost their lives to the Wuhan virus. Another virus is waiting to jump borders, it seems. Is the World Health Organization once again covering up for China? Just have a look at what's happening. WHO's office in China has sought information from Beijing. It has also asked for lab results. The office says the undiagnosed pneumonia cases in children may not be associated with an overall increase in respiratory infections at this time. In other words, China is lying. This is not a seasonal flu. Something is not adding up. What is the WHO doing then? Instead of issuing an alert, WHO is calling its notice to China a routine check. We just told you there are videos of children doing their homework while receiving intravenous drips in the hospital. How is this routine? Also, ideally, China is supposed to respond to such WHO notices within 24 hours. But Dr. Tedros is in no hurry to remind China that the deadline is over and lives are on the line. I am appalled, to say the least. I have some questions for the WHO team sitting in China and Dr. Tedros. What have you done to ensure that China comes clean? What have you done to ensure transparency of reporting? Do you have a plan in place? How do you plan to save people from another killer pandemic from China? Because our homes have young children. There are toddlers who have not yet received their vaccine shots. There are young children who have finally been able to go back to school. We have elderly parents with comorbidities. And it is the World Health Organization's job to keep them safe from China's mysterious exports. It is Dr. Tedros' job to ensure the well-being of everyone watching this show tonight from around the world. So get down to work and stop the next killer pandemic on its way from China. We are now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.